Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to Apple Tech Talks. I hope you're doing well. I certainly am, especially after 3 new products got refreshes just a few days ago, which are the AirPods, the iMac, and the iPads. So in this video, we're going to be talking about those 3 product refreshes. Nothing too fancy, nothing too major, but I just wanted to take the time to really just go over these changes and what's new. The purpose of this video is to inform in detail about these changes and sort of laying out how they stack up to the rest of Apple's lineup. But before we start, guys, just make sure you follow me on Facebook at Generation Z Gadgets. First link in the description below if you want to check me out. I really appreciate it. So first, let's start with the new AirPods, the AirPods 2. The original AirPods was already a fantastic device, and there wasn't really much else that could have been improved other than a complete design refresh or something like that. But they basically just changed it a little bit. So now there are 2 variants of the AirPods. So there's one with the wireless charging case and one without. And these respective prices are $199 and $159. There's also several performance tweaks regarding Bluetooth connectivity. You can also buy separately a Qi wireless charging case if you don't want to buy a whole new pair of AirPods. Essentially a very small update. We're expecting a larger design refresh either later this year or early next year. So this is nothing too major. Basically, these several Bluetooth tweaks include 2 times faster switching between devices. I should say these figures are up to 1.5 times faster connection when calling someone on the phone, and 30% lower latency while gaming. The wireless charging case is $79. Should you buy it? Well, if you already have AirPods, definitely don't. Even if you do, there's no need to buy the wireless charging case. As long as your current case is functioning and you can charge it via a lightning connector, there's no real reason why you would ever need to get a wireless charging case. There's no practical use, especially if you don't even have a wireless charger, then you'd have to pay even more money for a wireless charger as well. I would wait till the AirPods 3, or if you're in the market for Bluetooth earphones right now, I would purchase something like the Powerbeats 3, the Beats Solo 3, or Beats X, which is actually in a similar price range. I might make a video on the Beats X soon, so if you want that, leave a like on this video. So next, the new iMac. So at a glance, there are newer processors, faster memory, newer, better graphics, and then a couple other small features. And keep in mind, this hasn't been updated since the summer of 2017. So that's kind of crazy to think about. And even now, we're approaching the summer of 2019, it's not a major design refresh or anything like that. Basically, regarding the 21.5 inch, which is the smaller of the 2 iMac variants, it comes with a 4K display, which it always did. So basically you get new processors. So now you have an 8th generation Intel Core i3, which is a quad core chip, or your choice of an i5 or i7 hexa-core chip. This is an upgrade from the previous 7th gen Core i5, which was a dual core chip, or the i7, which was a quad core chip. So more cores now means better performance when editing videos in Final Cut, or music in Logic Pro, or photo editing in Photoshop, or using Lightroom or something like that. Furthermore, you have faster memory. So it's slightly faster from 2400 megahertz to 2666 megahertz. And I do believe the RAM was also upgraded from DDR3 to DDR4. There are newer graphics as well, an updated 2 gig AMD Radeon Pro 555X and a 4 gig 560X. There's also now a 4 gig Radeon Pro Vega 20 chip. And the graphics, in my opinion, shouldn't be significantly improved from the current iMacs. It's just a slight modernization, coming out with like the Vega chip, for example, which is relatively new technology to the market. It came out only, I think, a little less than a year and a half ago or something like that. Okay, now onto the 27-inch iMac, which is the bigger of the 2 variants and comes with a 5K display. So again, yes, we have new processors, an 8th gen Core i5 chip, that's a hexa-core, and a 9th gen i9 hexa-core, or i9 octa-core. And the i9 octa-core chip is what's being mainly advertised with these iMacs. It's probably the most significant upgrade on either variant, and basically you get, again, more cores, and because this is up from a 7th gen Core i5, which was a dual core chip, or an i5 or i7 quad-core chip, this is a significant upgrade to have 8 cores in it for it to be a Core i9. So more cores, and 9th gen, with the 9th gen i9, which has specs of 8 cores and max turbo speeds of up to 5 gigahertz, which is kind of craziness to think about. Again, significant boosted performance, but again, it's not like the current iMacs have any issues with them either. You also have faster memory. Again, the slightly faster 2400 megahertz to 2666 megahertz, and I do believe DDR3 to DDR4 RAM. And then the new graphics, you get 4 gig AMD Radeon Pro 570X, 575X, and 8 gig 580X. Now also with the Radeon Pro Vega 48 chip, and again, the graphics should not change noticeably. So the prices are staying the same, which is good, but what's the bottom line? Bottom line is really comes down to one question, is whether you need an iMac badly right now. If not, I would wait for the next major refresh, which is expected to be in the next 1 to 2 years. So if you think we can wait that long, I would really highly recommend waiting. If not, go ahead and buy an iMac, or wait for Windows, or buy Windows PC or something like that. I should not say that, it's an Apple channel, never mind. Then I'd buy the current iMac, I guess. Apple is slowing refreshes of the iMac line, as we've seen. The last major refresh was in 2015 with the 5K display, and the last design refresh was in 2012. So you should not be buying this iMac if you have an iMac from, I'd say, at least the last 4 years, unless a major problem happened with it and you need an iMac right now. And then also, I just wanted to say, Apple really tries to embellish their updates online, especially with the iMac. It's actually kind of frustrating to me, because I know there's a lot of gullible consumers out there who will look at the website and see what's new, and the way Apple embellishes it with their words makes it seem like it's a lot more grand than it actually is. But you do have some interesting stats. They provide, like right here, they provide some interesting improvements, specifically on Logic Pro X and Maxon Cinema 4D. I hope I'm not butchering that name. But don't be fooled by Apple's website, just nonetheless. Okay, next we are going to talk about the new iPad Air. This is now the iPad Air 3. So at a glance, it's a 10.5-inch display with a quad-core A12 Bionic chip, which is used in the iPhone XR and XS and XS Max. It utilizes the slightly smaller bezel design that we saw, I believe, last year. There are some other performance boosts, although it was last updated in 2014, so calling these really performance boosts, I don't know how much that will actually change based on what device you're currently using. It's a true tone display with a resolution of 2224 by 1668. It's 20% larger than the old 9.7-inch display with more than 500,000 more pixels. And it also supports the first generation of Apple Pencil. Apple claims an up to 70% boost in performance and 2 times the graphics power. The iPad Air 3 is also compatible with the smart keyboard and still maintains that wonderful 10 hours of battery life that it's always been known for. I also believe that it still has first gen Touch ID as opposed to second gen, which is faster. It starts at $499 for 64 gigs of storage, and it comes in the classic colors of silver, space gray, and gold. And then finally, the new iPad Mini 5, which I thought Apple was about to kill off their product line, came back. So at a glance, you have the same size 7.9-inch display that it's always had. It's a Retina display. And it also has the same quad-core A12 Bionic chip. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Apple has not updated it on their website. You can go check, it still says it has the A10. I might be wrong on that, but I think it should have the A12, right? It also, however, utilizes the old bezel display, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really tell the difference, honestly. On the surface, it doesn't look any different. There are also a couple other minor small performance boosts, and this iPad has not been updated since 2015, remember. So the 7.9-inch display is a true tone display as well, with a resolution of 2048 by 1536. So the resolutions on both iPads is great, and there's no complaining with it. It's more than 1440p. They're great displays. Especially with a small form factor. The smaller the form factor is, the greater the pixel density will be, and the more sharp the resolution will be. It's also compatible for the first time with the first generation Apple Pencil. The iPad mini, however, is not compatible with the smart keyboard. I can sort of see why. I don't think you'd want to type on a keyboard that's made for the iPad mini. It'd be really cramped and really uncomfortable. The iPad mini has received only minor updates since its inception, if you think about it. However, if you really think about it, what more do you really want in a tablet at this price point and at this size? There's really no legitimate competition, in my opinion, for this tablet. I mean, the iPad will function optimally because of its upgraded internals, and while the traditional design is still maintained up to this day, it's not a bad design at all and definitely holds its ground in 2019. Also, although the cameras are not super impressive on either iPad, which I believe have the same camera and most of the same internals, there's really no need for high quality cameras on either one of these iPads because, let's face it, you're not going to be, or I should say you shouldn't be, using these cameras to take high quality photos. The most you're ever going to use them for is FaceTiming someone. So alternatively, the regular iPad, which is dubbed just the iPad, might be an effective alternative for the iPad to the iPad Air 3 or the iPad Mini 5. It starts at only $330, whereas the iPad Mini 5 starts at $399, and then the iPad Air 3 starts at $500. They're all priced, I'd say, pretty generously, but the iPad, I would really look at the iPad if you don't really want that much out of your iPad. You just want the same experience, the iOS experience, and the immersive experience, of using an iPad. Plus, it has a 9.7-inch display, so that's a plus. Anyway, that's been it. I have links below, as usual, to buy any of the new Apple products I mentioned in this video, including the iPad I just mentioned. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I just cracked my knuckles. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.